Hey guys, it's Cal from the Lighting Doctor here. I hope you guys are going to enjoy this consultation series. We're going to give you all kinds of tips and tricks for effectively and properly lighting up your home. This is a free consultation that we do for all our clients. So if you want to get your free consultation, just shoot me an email at cal@lightingdoctor.ca. Send me a few pictures and we'll give you a video presentation of what lights are going to work best with your property, or go and visit us at lightingdoctor.ca or go check out all our videos on YouTube.
Hey, Danny, thanks for reaching out here. I'll give you some thoughts and some suggestions, ideas here how you could do this. There's a couple little tools and subtleties and stuff that I might be able to throw in for you here just to help make the project stand out a little bit more. We do ship across Canada and the US with free shipping, so we can definitely get the lights to you. They usually arrive within 7 to 10 days of your order, just depending on weather and volume and stuff, but usually not more than 10 days. That being said, with the cold winter this year, I know that FedEx wasn't able to deliver a few packages because it was too cold, but 7 to 10 days usually. And yeah, and I'll show you some thoughts. So the first thing I would do, I mean, obviously I'm a huge fan of just making the house really stand out, and I think one of the lights you're going to want to use most in this project is going to be your up and accent light here. It's an LED light, and it comes with a 20 watt equivalent bulb, so it's about a 5 watt LED bulb. It's that warm yellow color, so a lot of people get worried with LED that it's that white color, and it's not. Most of the bulbs you buy nowadays that are LED are that 2700 Kelvin warm yellow looking color. But where I would use those is on the house here. I would probably try and get one at the base of the house that shines up in this location, in this location, and in this location. And the way you want to do that is, what a lot of people will do is they'll actually place the lights too far back and have them shining at the house, and then you end up getting this big hot spot. You actually want to get it nice and close to the house, maybe 12 inches back or so, and have it shining almost straight up. And what that's going to do is it's going to do a really good job of cascading up along the brick wall here and really highlight the subtleties in all the stonework. And I would do that 3 of those on each side of the windows there. I would use that same thought and concept on this side of the house in the front, nice and close to the house, just kind of underneath the shutters here, and have them shining up. And don't worry that this area is kind of covered by the shrub, because what it does is, just by backlighting the house like that too, it kind of creates cool silhouettes of some of the plantings and stuff that you have in front. Same thing on this side. By having this light here and kind of backlighting the house, you're not only highlighting the house, but you're creating that silhouette of the landscape and the trees and the plants and stuff that you have in it. So that's why I wouldn't worry too much that this area is hidden, but you definitely want to highlight that part of the house. I would also have one of those same lights, the up and accent lights, again close to the house, shining pretty much straight up again. Again, I see sometimes people bring them too far back and have it shining at the pillars, and then you end up with this big hot spot here. You want to get it close and have it shining up. And I would get one here and here. And then on the doorway here is a little tricky, because you have the steps here. Ideally, I would love to get a light, right there and have it shining straight up, but obviously you're not going to be able to do that. So what you may want to try and do is actually get it as close as possible here and have it kind of angled up the entranceway. And one thing I would do with that light, because you don't want it shining directly into your eyes as you're walking down, is I would put something in those lights called a Hex Baffle. So what a Hex Baffle is, it's just a little aluminum honeycomb filter that goes underneath the cap of the light here, and all it does is deflects some of that light from shining out the side, and it just concentrates it more onto that area. So as you're walking by, you're not getting that side glare and having to have that light shine right in your eyes. So it just helps. It just helps hide that light source a little bit more. So, any lights that you order from us, I would definitely put 2 of those Hex Baffles. I would just throw them in there for you so you can use those. Sorry, my computer's freezing here today, but I would throw those in these lights just to help deflect some of that light from going in your eyes. I would use that same light. It depends. You don't have to do every tree, and I don't even know if these are on your property, but I would probably look at trying to get an accent light on this tree, and same thing, fairly close to the tree, and have that shining straight up. You want to get as much of the trunk and branching structure as possible. And then again, if there's you know, it looks like there's a smaller tree here. I would use that same light with the same concept here. And any other areas along the property that you might want to accent a couple trees, use that same light. And again, biggest mistake I see people do is having it too far out and have it trying to shine at the tree, and then you get these big hot spots. You really want to get it closer and have it shining up. And one of the first tips that I ever got when we started installing landscape lighting is whatever angle you think you need to aim it 1 or 2 clicks higher, is probably going to be the right way to do it. And then if you're really bold and you're up for the challenge, something else you could do, because the one thing is you'll have these pillars, you'll have all the front of the house lit up, but you're going to be missing something up on the second tier. So if you wanted to, what I would probably recommend, or what you could try and do, is if you can run some wire up the eaves trough to the second tier, I would also use some of those accent lights up on the second tier. And I would probably, I would put at least 2. I would probably try and put one kind of in between these 2 shutters and in between these 2 shutters that just highlight here. And then that's going to get all the way to the peak and do a really good job of highlighting the second tier of the home. And the way you would do that is to mount those. All the lights come with a ground stake, obviously, that you screw in and it goes into the ground. But you're obviously not going to drive a ground stake into the roof of your house. So what you can do, we have flanges that you can buy, but a more cost-effective way is if you just go to a Home Depot, you can get any flange that you can kind of mount to the roof of your house, as long as it has a 1/2-inch female thread, because the thread on these lights that screws into the ground stake is just a 1/2-inch male thread. So if you have any kind of flange or any kind of mounting bracket that has a 1/2-inch female thread, you can screw that in there and mount it onto the roof or wherever you plan on putting that. And then for hiding the wire and stuff, usually, you know, there's a gutter or something. All the connections that we use are waterproof, so you can just hide the connections right in the gutter. They'll be fine. You don't have to worry about water getting in and stuff. But it's a little extra work. It's a little trickier to hide that wire, but you can easily do it up the eaves trough. And once you do that, this whole second tier would be lit up, and I think that would just make the whole thing pop. And lastly, I'm not a huge fan of path lights, but there is certain times when they fit, and using a path light like this that really hides the light source. A lot of times you see them where, you know, at night you see this big bright bulb here and you don't have the light source concealed. I like these because you don't necessarily see them, you just see the effect that they create. And how I would use those is actually in between where you have some of these accent lights to help light this walkway. So again, if you have an accent light here, here, and here, I would consider putting a path light in here. I would consider putting a path light in here, and then I would probably try and put a path light in here and somewhere over here. And you get 4 path lights that it's not going to overpowerly, I don't know if that's a word, but light the walkway, but it will give you some extra light along that walkway. And it's also just going to make all this area maybe not seem quite as dark, and it won't just be uplighting from behind. You'll also have some nice downlighting at a lower level, so you're creating different tiers of light. So if this was my project and I was doing it, that is where I would get started for sure. So if you have any questions, let me know, and I'd be happy to answer those for you further. Thanks, Danny.
Hey guys, I really hope you enjoyed that video presentation with some great tips and tools on how to go and properly and effectively light up your landscape. And be sure, if you want your own free consultation video just like that one, send me an email at cal@lightingdoctor.ca with a few pictures of your property, and we'll get back to you with some really cool ideas and ways to go and effectively light your property. And be sure to watch the videos after this one for more tips on how to install landscape lighting, as well as how to light up your landscape the best way possible.